everybody. So here I am ready to make a video. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Amy, and today I just thought, you know what, I have been sitting on something for a really long time, and I really wanted to like get in and I just have to start somewhere. So today I just want to talk to you about if you've ever had a dream. And I can tell you that I am a dreamer. So if you're like me, you might have 15 different dreams all going on at the same time, thoughts of what you think you want to do, what you know you're going to do, what you know God has called you to do, and you kind of just don't know where to go and how to get to them. Or get them accomplished, I should say. So a couple of things have happened in the last several little bits of time, like the last couple of weeks. I have realized that, a year ago, I set up an office space in my bedroom, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm not going to show you my room, but that's where I'm at. And I set up this space so that I could have like my desk, a place to study the word and get into something that I know has been a dream of mine and something that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God's called me to do. So I'm going to give a little bit of like background about that. So we all know COVID came, March of 2020, like at my work, when I got sent home for 3 months or whatever. And then I got sent back to work, and I had a lot of free time, a lot. And I really didn't know what to do with myself in that time, but I can tell you that I have always wanted to write a book. And the ironic part about that is I really hate to read. So let's go figure. I have been through lots of different life experiences, and I'm sure over the course of time, I will discuss on this channel the things that have happened and gone on and how God has kept me and restored me and brought me through. And that's the amazing part of my story. But one of the things that recently in the last year that God's called me to do is I know I'm supposed to write a book. And maybe you're thinking, like, why? Like, how do you know? So when COVID hit and I had nothing to do and I'm sitting alone and I don't have internet access at work. Can you imagine that? And I don't really have a job. Like, there was nothing I could do with what I do at my career. So at my workplace. So I would read the only book that was in my beauty shop, and it was the Bible. And I would read and I would ask God for some understanding, and I would say, hey, like, maybe I need to just like write, So my background is I'm a beauty school teacher. I have been for 4 years. So yeah, I started when I was 10, but hey, we all start somewhere. Just kidding. I wasn't 10, I was 20. But anyway, I have been teaching, and so sorry, hair in my mouth. So like when you teach, you know how to write curriculum, you know how to write. So God's given me these gifts and these abilities to do these things, and I'm like, I just need to do something with them, right? So I just started like, okay, I think I'll write a devotional book. And so I started writing all these devotions, and I'm going to show you in my little treasure box. This is what I have. Can you see all these? Yes, I was old school, handwriting, notebook paper, all kinds of stuff written on. I have more. I have notes. I have these all over the place. I have little binders. I have little booklets. I have something that looks all chewed up and it's been through a lot. That I have wrote things in, and I was like, I think I'll just put them all together. And then I'm like, well, maybe that's silly. Like, maybe that's something I'm really not supposed to do. And I was in this class called SOCM, which stands for School of Kingdom Ministry. And so I did this, the last part of the class was this thing called the Dream Lab. And it was really awesome. So like we had to go up front, and you had to sit in front of your group, and you had to tell your group like, hey, this is, what I feel like is my God dream, something bigger than myself. And of course mine has been to write a book, because I don't really enjoy reading. So how do I know how to write a book? And how do I put it together? Do I have proper English? Do I know the right punctuation? How am I going to find a publisher? And I'm like, and is that even like something God would want me to do? Like, is that, it's going to be time consuming, right? And so I got up and I started to speak, and I have a couple different things I'm very passionate about. So I'll backtrack. There's, women who've been through a lot of trauma are very close to my heart. So women who have been through traumatic experiences, adultery, abortion, divorce, things that I know I've personally experienced myself. I have a heart to share how God healed me so that these women can find healing. So I know that's something that I desire, and I don't really know how to get into that part of it, where I can really share much of my story or my testimony, because sometimes that's things women don't really want to speak about. They don't really want to talk about it. And so I kind of started talking about that at first, and I started talking about like women's ministry and just things that I know that like God has gifted me with abilities, so I know that I could be able to use what he's given me and give back. So that was one of them. And so as I'm kind of finishing up, like, hey, like, this is like the end of what I'm going to do, like, this is my dream. I said, oh yeah, like, I would really like to write a book one day. And so what was happening as I'm sharing my dream, there was a panel of 6 people, and they would like speak back into your dream. And they would share back into what they felt like the Lord was telling them. As you shared your dream, they kind of spoke words of encouragement back to you. And one of the young men, he kind of laughed. And I was like, well, that's kind of odd when I said I wanted to write a book, but I didn't think anything about it. When I said it, I noticed that he kind of chuckled. And then I just kind of was like, okay, well, whatever. So, we went to like the first couple, and they kind of spoke some things to me. And then when we got to this young man, he asked me, he's like, do you want to know why I chuckled? And I was like, of course I do, because that was kind of odd to me. And so one of the things he said was, right when I stood up and like walked to the podium that they had, God told him to write something down. And this is what he wrote. I don't know if you can see that very well. It says, write a book, arrow, author. And confirmation, right? So what have I done since May of 2020? Well, let me tell you, I haven't really done very much. And, or May of 2021, sorry, let me backtrack that. I haven't done very much, and I'm kind of feeling some sort of way about that. I kind of let life get in the way. I kind of let life circumstances get in the way, things that have happened since then. And I kind of have stuffed it into my box, right? Into this nice shoebox full of all my papers, all my thoughts, all my plans, and all my ideas. And so what do you do with your dreams? When you have a dream, what do you do with it? Do you stuff it? Do you trust the Lord to fulfill it? I believe wholeheartedly that God gives us desires, like he puts them in us, of things that he wants us to put out. And so for me to even have a desire to write a book when I really don't enjoy reading has to be a God thing. And I know that now it's on me to activate that dream or that action, because I'm the only one who's stopping the process right now. The Lord's not stopping it. It's me. It's what am I doing with what he's called me to do? And how am I able to get my stories out there? How am I able to get these devotionals into the hands of men and women who could use them, and what the Lord has done and how he's healed me and how he can heal them? And I'm like, okay, God, I'm like sitting here. It's, a Thursday night. I'm hanging out, and I'm like, you know what, Lord, I'm gonna quit sitting on my dream and I'm gonna start getting to my dream. So tonight I just want to encourage you that whatever your dream is, whatever you're going through, whatever thoughts and plans that you have that you know the Lord has called you to do, I am going to challenge you to activate those, to do your next part, because the Lord can't move if we don't move with him. As I was running last night, I realized like I'm taking one step at a time. And like we were running up these hills, and if you've ever ran and you run up a hill, you know it's torture. If you look at the top of the hill, if you look at like where you have to go, you're running and you're in your stride and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can make this. And then you're like, okay, I'm like, what do I do? You know, I'm looking at the top of the hill and I can feel my body. When I look at the big, huge picture, I feel my body kind of start to shut down and it doesn't want to go any farther. And I remembered what my friend Marianne said to us: one step at a time and look down. And so I looked at the ground as I was running up this hill. And you know what? The hill, man, we smashed it. We conquered it. We ran up 4 hills. We ran up and down one, turned around, ran up and down one, up and down one. And it was awesome. And as I was running, I felt the Lord impress on me, like, Amy, you are looking just at the ground, one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. And he's waiting for me to take that step. So I know that my book won't get accomplished if I don't take the next step. My purpose in life isn't going to get accomplished if I don't take the next step. What you have planned, like what the Lord has planned for you, what your purpose is, what your dreams are, the things that God has inspired you to do, are not going to happen if it's your turn to take the next step. So tonight, I just encourage you, take the next step, trust the Lord. He is with you always. He has your back. He knows exactly what needs to happen, and he is going to fulfill all the promises that he's told you. Tonight's kind of special night. Yesterday was my grandmother's birthday, and she passed away last year, and I miss her so much. But I have this thing right here on the ground. I'm gonna grab it. So this came from her old garage, this like old piece of wood. Can you see how old this is? And I wrote on it, and it says, "Blessed is she who believed that the Lord would fulfill his promises to her." Luke 1:45. So I actually had this on my wall until it fell off in the middle of the afternoon one day and about scared me. But I believe that, and I know it says promises to her, but this goes for men too. You know, blessed are those of us who believe that the Lord will fulfill all the promises that he has given to us. So trust him tonight. Trust him that he has your back. Trust him that he wants the very best for you, because I believe with all of my heart that it can happen. So also stay tuned, because I'm going to be making this Unveiled YouTube channel. I'm going to try to get to it every week and post a little something of inspiration, because I know that's something that the Lord has called me to do, and I can't sit any longer. So have a great evening. I love you all. God bless. Bye-bye.